From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, July the 3rd, 2019. U.S. senators who are visiting Israel this week, Republican Lindsey Graham and Democrat Chris Van Hollen, met yesterday with Palestinian chief negotiator Saeb Erekat on issues of concern, including the Palestinian Authority's monthly stipends to Palestinian terrorists or families of terrorists who have murdered Israelis. Graham is the author of the Taylor Force Act that prevents the United States from providing economic assistance to the PA until it ends that practice. Van Hollen feels that the U.S. should continue to fund AID programs for the Palestinian people. They discussed, as Erekat tweeted, the two-state solution as well. The senators also met with UN Middle East envoy Nikolai Mladenov, who thanked them for the meeting, writing a negotiated two-state solution between Israelis and Palestinians and economic development must go hand in hand. Mladenov referring there presumably to the Peace and Prosperity Workshop co-hosted by the U.S. last week in Bahrain, which focused on the economic aspect of the U.S. peace plan. And speaking about the Bahrain conference, today White House senior advisor Jared Kushner told the press that at some point there will be negotiations on the political issues. And when that happens, I think it will give a lot more comfort for these negotiations, for people to see that there is a defined, locked and loaded economic plan for what could occur after a political breakthrough is reached. Kushner said that while the Palestinian Authority looked foolish for trying to fight the conference, President Trump is, quote, very fond of Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. And Kushner said, our door is always open to the Palestinian leadership. Meanwhile, a poll published today by the Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research shows that most Palestinians back the PA's decision to boycott the Bahrain conference. 1,200 Palestinians in 120 randomly selected locations in the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem were surveyed at the end of last month, and the overwhelming majority agreed that political independence was more important to them than economic prosperity. Amir Peretz was elected yesterday as the new chairman of Israel's Labor Party. The veteran labor leader beat out newer party members Itzik Shmuli and Stav Shafir in the primaries. Peretz will now lead labor into Israel's upcoming national elections on September the 17th. Upon his win, Peretz said his first order of business would be to unite the Labor Party with other parties in the bloc, presumably referring there to former Prime Minister Ehud Barak's newly announced party and the left-wing Meretz party. In fact, Barak wished Peretz luck, saying, I believe we can do what is required and stand together alongside other forces to put Israel back on the right track. Nitzan Horowitz, who last week was named leader of Meretz, said, we at Meretz are prepared to discuss possible cooperation for the success of the Israeli left. He said, I expect to speak to Amir in the next few days. Knesset Speaker Yuli Edelstein said today that his efforts to try and revoke the September 17th elections failed because he was not able to convince lawmakers to work with him towards that goal. Edelstein tweeted, in recent days, I tried to push for your benefit, the citizens of Israel, the cancellation of these unnecessary elections, saving us all billions of shekels. Unfortunately, he wrote, not everyone would cooperate, so we are not going to be able to cancel the elections. And Israel's upcoming elections may prevent Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu from speaking this year at the United Nations. The Jerusalem Post reports that Netanyahu will likely be in the midst of intense negotiations the week after the elections, when leaders from across the globe address the UN General Assembly beginning on September the 24th. Netanyahu has spoken as Israel's prime minister at the gathering 10 times, including every year except for one since 2009. German authorities say they've returned a painting that was looted by the Nazis to the heirs of its Jewish owner. Germany's culture minister Monika Grütters said the return of Paul Signac's Quai de Clichy contributes at least a degree toward historical justice for the family of Gaston Prosper Levy. Experts found that the Nazis stole the painting from Levy in 1940 before he fled France. It was found in 2012 in the apartment of Cornelius Gurlitt, who inherited 1,500 pieces of art from his father, Hildebrand Gurlitt, who was known as art dealer to Hitler. Many of those pieces are believed to have been seized and stolen by the Nazis from Jews during the Holocaust, but only 6 pieces have been identified and returned to their rightful owners or heirs to date. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, July the 3rd. At 7 o'clock, it's from the Aleph Bet. At 7:30, a look at Jewish views of federalism and capitalism. At 8, Ken Spiro discusses the impact of Judaism on modern political thought and Jewish political affiliation. At 9 tonight, Mark Golub sits down with singer, songwriter, actress Shelley Fisher, known as the Hebrew Hillbilly, who talks about growing up Jewish in the heart of the Mississippi Delta. That's on L'chaim. At 10, Holocaust survivor and founder of the Israel Women's Network and Israel Prize laureate Alice Shalvi reflects on her life's journey. And coming up right after this newscast, it's Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, July the 3rd, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader.